I see trees of green, red roses.
I am so excited today because I have Shailah Edmonds. She's a former model and now she's an author, and she is writing and revealing incredible secrets, things we didn't know about her in her new book. Tell me the title.
It's called Wild Child to Couture Style.
How absolutely incredible. You know, there were so many incredible little details that I had no idea, and I think it's great summer reading.
Absolutely.
People can come back.
Absolutely.
You could be on the beach, you
Yes.
could be on a plane, you could be just anywhere except driving.
Yes.
You know? And I think it's so
Yes.
good to learn. Talk about some of the experiences as a young person, you know, with the aspirations to become a model.
Yes, well, I never really planned to be a model. I wanted to be an actress or a singer or a movie star more so than a model. But you know, sometimes fate has its way of taking you where you're supposed to be. And just from very humble beginnings, you know, being a teenage parent and not knowing what I was going to do, but I was from a very small town, Portland, Oregon, and I just knew whatever I wanted to do, I had to get out of Portland because the opportunities were so limited there. So I went away, and I was walking down the street in Washington, D.C., and was discovered by this lady who said, "You have to be a model. You are a model."
How
and
fantastic.
It's amazing. She sent me to New York for a model competition, and the rest is history. I won the competition and went on to Europe, and just it was at a time when it was a historic time for models, for black models especially in Europe at that time. And not only am I revealing secrets, first of all, so many people that have read the book thought they knew me. They read the book, and every half an hour or so the phone would ring, and they, oh my God, they learned something else about me. Yes.
But you know what's amazing?
So,
I've never met anybody from Portland.
oh, really?
Ever.
Okay.
I mean, I know it's somewhere west.
Yes.
But it's like,
yes.
whoa,
It's
the
really,
discovery.
it's
you know?
rare that we get out of Portland. The people that I've grown up with there are still there. They rarely leave Portland, no further than Seattle or California. You know, to make it to the East Coast.
Does your sister still live there?
Yes, my sister still lives there, and a brother.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
and have they been to New York?
Yes. Well, no, the brother hasn't. My sister has. Yes.
Oh, lovely,
Yes.
lovely.
Yes.
It's nice to have
So-
family and to be supportive.
Oh,
have a family
absolutely.
that's supportive
Absolutely,
behind
absolutely,
you.
yes.
And then they can sort of share the whole experience with you, which I think is fantastic.
That's true. But back to the modeling era, not only did I write this memoir just to express what happened to me personally and how I made it, but I wanted to commemorate the importance of the black model movement in Paris at that time, because I think it's something that we will never see again. It was a time when there was 6 and 7 black models on the stage at one time, and we were spinning and turning and flipping fabric, and just, you know, there was a competition, and it was just it was an amazing time. This black people of all hues and colors, and we were introducing such an excitement to Paris. I mean, any model, models came from all over, from the islands, from everywhere, and it was just an amazing movement, and it should be documented somewhere. So I hope this book is an avenue to get it documented.
But I think also the models at that time had personality, which
Oh,
is totally
absolutely.
different from the stiff
Oh,
girls today who don't
absolutely.
smile.
Oh,
There's no personality.
Absolutely, and that's what happened when my era ended. I was upstaged by, you know, the Evangelistas and Turlingtons and people that just didn't walk or have any kind of flair, but they were names. They were the one-name wonders. I mean, Iman was always there, and she crossed over into that era too. But you know, there were no more turns, no more flipping the fabric. It was just like, you know, now they're like walking coat hangers. They're just like,
exactly.
you know, they're just walking, and you know. And I also coach models, and my business has totally disintegrated because there's nothing really to learn anymore except to stand up straight and put one foot in front of the other. So,
like a horse.
Yes, exactly. So it's unfortunate, and I hope that the show comes back into the modeling business at some point a little bit more, because it is
showbiz.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And the modeling industry now, they're getting so upstaged by the celebrity children. They're taking over. So it's really, really tough for a model, you know, with no background or connections to get in. You know, with the Twitter and the Instagram, it's how many likes you have. That's how you really make it to the top these days. And it's totally unfair, because people with true talent and beauty are left behind. So.
Well, it's the same thing with the designers. You know,
Oh,
you don't have
absolutely.
real designers, you have celebrities
Yes,
who
yes.
have no idea of what the hell's going on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then everything is cookie cutter because it's made
Yes.
in some foreign land.
Yes,
So there's no
exactly.
personal touch to it.
That's
you know?
right, that's true.
And I think the whole thing at that particular time when designers were designing, they were literally touching the fabric. It was a whole other
Absolutely,
experience.
yes, and I think I mentioned that in the book as well. These models these days, when we were modeling, we were fitting and had so much one-on-one time with the designer. Now, we
Right.
knew our fabrics as well as
Chiffon.
Chiffon. Excusez-moi, chiffon. So yes, and it's something that's kind of lost now, which I hope will be
Come back again.
Come back again.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's another generation.
Yes,
But I think
absolutely.
the excitement, of having, well, I think first of all, there's a flair about black models. It's
Yes,
totally different.
totally different. Yes.
There's a whole. It's something in the blood.
Exactly.
That just,
yeah. Well, I mean, African people were born. I mean, they were the
boomba, boomba.
exactly the originators of fashion. So
And
it's
style
totally
and beat.
Absolutely. So it's totally in our blood. So I hope it comes back again. But I just really also want to just let models know, any aspiring models who are out there, to let them know if they want to get in this business, it's not an easy
Oh, it's tough.
to get into, and it's tougher now than ever.
And
You have to-
rejections,
oh,
too.
the rejections, and you have to persevere. And this is the overall message that I have in this book: that if you stick in there and you really want this, there is a way to get around it. And there's one portion in the book when I was modeling for Guy Laroche. And he told me no, and I'd been on so many castings and walking so much that day, and he told me no, I was too tall for his collection. And I'm like, excuse me, Mr. LaRoche. I says, you need tall girls in your show. You got to have, they can walk just as well as the short girls, and I need to be in this show. I said, just let me try something on. And he was just so taken aback. The French people, he's like, oh my God, is this woman really talking to me like this? But he says, you know what, you are right. And he had the seamstress go and get a dress for me, and I put the dress on, and it was a harlequin print, and I mean, as the lady brought it in, the dress flowed, and I just like that dress. I was in love from the moment she brought it in, and once I had it on, I was a blur of the chiffon.
But it was your personality, and the
Yes,
personality
and
you really conveyed the whole message, and I think that's important.
Absolutely. But let me tell you, that dress made the cover of Time magazine at
Wow.
the end of the season. And I became Guy Laroche's muse after that.
Well, there you go.
So you have to have perseverance. If you want it, you put your foot down and you let people that you want it, because you're going to be told no so much in this business. It's really
It's
really
just
tough.
like showbiz.
Yes, totally. Any part of showbiz.
Yeah.
You have to keep pushing. So I think this book is is an inspiration as well as a confession. It's really
A confession, yes.
yes.
I would say.
Yes, there's a lot of confession there. We won't talk about the Rome Hotel ordeal. We'll have to let the readers.
Absolutely.
But I hope the overall message is one of inspiration and perseverance.
It is an inspirational book because
Yes.
it says anything is possible. All you
Yes.
have to do is have a dream.
That's right. That's
And you
true.
go after that dream and you make it happen.
Yes.
You have to make it happen.
That's
it's not like
right.
somebody else is making it for you.
That's right.
But you
Yes.
have to have that dream.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
aspirations for whatever you want to do in life.
Yes, that's true.
Whether you're modeling or whether you're sweeping the streets,
Yes.
you have to be able to, and also really love what you're doing. Have a passion for it.
Absolutely, yes.
Passion
That's
is so
the
important
bottom
in life.
line. You have to love it. I tell you, once I really got the gist and was working as a top model, I mean, there was nothing better in the world than putting on a gown and walking that runway, having the seamstresses pamper you and the makeup artists and the bright lights and the audience screaming your name and it's just wonderful. It's just really a great experience. And that's what troubles me about the children, the young people today. They are so spoon-fed, so many of them have parents who, I don't know if it's out of guilt or whatever, but they don't let their children suffer and really work for what they get.
Right.
They give them everything. They have all the latest cell phones, the latest games, the latest clothes, the latest
Like the
whatever.
trust fund kids.
Yes, exactly. And so they expect their careers and their life to be laid out for them as well. And that's why there's no passion. When you work for something, you're really hungry for it, and you've starved and bled and cried for it.
Yeah.
It really makes a difference as to how you succeed.
Oh, absolutely. Talk about
Yeah.
some of the designers in Europe that you worked with.
Oh my! I started working with I started with Guy Laroche, but I worked for every major designer. Valentino, Armani, Yves Saint Laurent, of course, was my utmost. It was the most incredible designer. Givenchy, Dior, Armani, Versace. Hanamori, oh my God! There's just endless
long
names.
list.
The longest name. That's just in Paris. I mean, in Italy there was so many more. And London, Sandra Rose was wonderful with me in London. I flew the Concorde, which is extinct now, to Sandra Rose. From
3 hours.
New York to London in 3 hours. That was just
Unbelievable.
unbelievable. So there's just so many experiences also listed in this book that I just would have never had before. I lived in Tokyo for 3 months at a time, for two stints in Tokyo for 3 months at a time, which was just really incredible. I ate a lot of rice.
You must have been a giant.
Yes. Oh my God. I know. I'd walk down the street and everybody, I could see for miles. I could see over everyone's head.
See the whole town.
Exactly.
That's amazing,
But
and they're all
there's-
looking up at you.
Yes, yes, but wonderful people and just a really wonderful experience there as well. So it's important to, I want to stress, to see the world. And you write travel books and you're very well traveled. It's so important to get out and travel and see the world. It's an
and other cultures.
Yes, it's an education and experience in itself.
Yeah.
And I hope that inspires you too. For you, see, I would have never seen any parts of this world if I hadn't been a model, and that was the best education I ever had. You learn the languages, you learn the culture, you learn the people, and
You learn the food.
Yeah, the food, exactly. So yes, it's a great experience. Yes.
Well, modeling is not what a lot of people think it is, because it's hard work.
Yes.
And it's like anything that you apply yourself to, it's hard.
Oh, you tell me about hard work. I want to tell you just what a day would entail in modeling. I was up usually at 6 o'clock in the morning, maybe 4 o'clock actually, because we'd have to be at the beach by 6 o'clock, because if we were shooting the swimwear, and it was in winter, of course, you shoot opposite, so we were freezing, shooting swimwear, and we'd had to finish the shoot by 8 or 9 o'clock. Had to be back in the city by then to start the shows, and I had 18 to 22 shows a day.
There are that many hours.
I know, at the height of my career. Can you imagine? I went down the list, 18 to 22 shows. It was a lot of work. You had no time to eat, no time to sleep, and it was just one show after another after another. So it's very important to drink a lot of water, get your rest, and then after
When you get rest, if
you
you're
don't
working,
rest. You work, you
all
rest
those hours.
like 10-minute naps from one show to the next. That's what you do when you sleep.
nap.
And then
Maybe
sometimes
between changes.
exactly. I tell you, but then after the shows were over, say 10 o'clock at night, a designer would call you in for a fitting. So you'd go to dinner between 7 and 10 or whatever, and then you'd fit for the shows for the next day until about 2 in the morning.
Oh.
I mean, we'd fit, standing on tables, trying on things for the shows the next day.
That's
so
insane.
it's really insane. It's not.
But then it's only a season at
Yes,
a time.
that's true. It's
so you're
only
not doing it all year long.
Exactly. And 2 weeks of that, and you're
Then you need a vacation.
Exactly, exactly. But then you get a vacation. The money is great, and just to see the world again, it's just wonderful. And I want models to know too. So many models that I train now. They want to be models, and they just don't have the measurements and the requirements. And I don't, I'm very honest when I teach my classes, because I'll tell them honestly that it's not anything, it's not for you, because it's really special to be blessed with a body that's perfect to be a model. You have to be tall, you have to be thin, unless you're in the plus size business, of course. But, and you have to fit the modeling requirements. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I took a model to Paris to shop her around to the agents, because sometimes I work as a scout. And she was just too tall, and I kind of told her that before, but her mother says, just take her, you made it, you were too tall too, so she could probably make it. But
how tall was she?
She was 6'2".
Oh.
6'2" or 6'3". And times had changed. I mean, they just don't take the chances. It's like a business now. It's such a business now. They don't go over any type of requirements. If you're over 5'11", 6 feet, maybe. I encourage them to try other avenues in the fashion business. You can be a dresser, or a book at the behind the scenes in the shows, or a booker at a modeling agency, or something that, or makeup artist. Anything that you can still be around the business, but if you're just not made for this business.
And bless you for saying that, because that's in your book, as a matter of
Yes,
fact.
absolutely.
Yeah,
yes,
and I think people need to know there's alternatives. You can still be in the business without.
Right.
Actually being the model, the one up front.
Exactly.
You could be the person who's supportive on the other end.
That's right. That's true. And that's just as important, because, models depend on, you to make them who they are. You know, we
Exactly.
need the makeup artists, we need the hairdressers, we need, you know, good people behind us.
It's a phenomenal business.
It is, it really is.
And personally, some of the things I'd love to hear about that are in your book that are personal.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Oh, dear, no.
you don't want to talk about that?
No, we can't talk about that
Oh,
because
okay.
otherwise, why would you buy the book? You have to buy. We have to leave a little bit of the carrot in front of the horse. You
Yeah.
know, so that you have to-
Aperitivo.
an aperitif. Oh dear.
How long did it take you to write the book? Because that's,
Yes, I started it. Well, I always kept a journal through all my travels, even from day one. I mean, when I was a child, I wrote poetry. I just always had a love of words. I always wanted to write poetry more than anything, and songs. I've written a few songs, but I kept a great journal, and I started maybe 20 years ago. I'm aging myself, I know, because I'm only
10.
Exactly. But I started writing it. I made the first draft maybe 20 years ago, and I just, you know, put it under the bed with the rest of my ideas. And I started singing, and I was still modeling at the time too, and was just too busy to pursue it. So every 5 years, I would take it out and review it and change a few things. I'm like, oh, it's not time yet. And I think just in the last 2 years, I'd say 5 years, I got really serious about it. And I did serious editing. I did the pictures. The pictures alone will take you a year to decide which pictures that should go in. And I have so many amazing pictures that I couldn't put in because, you know, there's space and expense. So I may just do another picture book because, but anyway, it takes a good year just to get the formatting and the pictures all together. So I'd say in the last 5 to 3 years, I was really serious. And then the last year, I just really put the pedal to the metal and said, I got to get this done. It's been waiting too long. And I just kept saying, everything comes at a time when it's time. And now there's so many books, everybody's penning them. It's a book craze right now.
Absolutely, everyone's doing them.
Yes, so it's a great time to have a book. And many bookstores are opening now. So many bookstores, new bookstores are opening. So that's an encouragement too for other people to write your book, tell your story. Everybody has a story, so go out and tell your story.
and there's so many avenues nowadays.
Yes,
you know, between
yes.
Amazon and so forth and so
Oh,
on.
absolutely.
It just
And the internet, there's so many online magazines, online bookstores. I mean, it's just totally unlimited. I'm having a ball. I mean,
I'm
this has
sure.
totally changed my life since I wrote this book. I'm so busy. The phone is ringing. I'm just, it's just
all
a
over the
joy.
place.
Yes, it's
But tell
great.
me also about your singing, because I remember Studio
Oh,
54
geez.
when we first started, and I fell off the
I
stage.
tell you, oh
But-
my God. I remember coming to your studio for the first time telling you that I could sing. And you said, sing a few bars, just like
I
that.
did?
Yes, a cappella. And I sang right in your studio, and you said, oh my God, you sound like Ella Fitzgerald.
Wow.
I never will forget that. I mean, when I left that studio, I was beaming. My chest bloated up like, Ella Fitzgerald, that's like the best compliment you can get in the world.
Wow.
So that was quite an encouragement there. But then
But you remember
were
the studio,
Yes,
that
you
was-
were singing at the same time, and that's why you were asking me to sing, because you were looking for backup singers. And we performed together at Studio 54, the infamous Studio 54.
What a night that
And
was.
John was in his element, and he got so overwhelmed and excited during the performance that he fell off the stage.
Backwards.
Backwards. Oh my God, that is unforgettable. I tell
And the
you,
people
just
from
really.
the club said to me, why don't you get up and take a bow? I said, honey, you take a bow. I have had it.
Right? That was
But
the end.
now you're
that was
singing
good.
everywhere.
Yes, I've had a wonderful singing career. I started out singing R&B. First of all, my father was a big jazz guy. He was a jazz pianist, but he never pursued a career. So I grew up listening to all the great jazz, and I grew up with it. I hated jazz because I couldn't dance to it. You know, it was like, I want to dance. So my sisters were all into the Motown movement. So they, on the other end, I was listening to a lot of the Motown music. So I started out singing with the Motown band. And did pretty well with that, just in private parties and street fairs and things. It was really exciting. And then the music industry changed a little bit, so the jazz genre was getting more work in the restaurants and all around the city, so I switched over to the jazz and
Which is
recorded a
great.
jazz CD and started singing all over the city. I sang in so many restaurants, private parties, and still performing around the city. It's just great.
It's hard work.
It's hard work, but I
But
love
somebody's
it.
got to do it.
I love it. I love every minute of it. I come on between the book, the coaching, and the music. I'm exhausted every single
busy.
night. I'm busy, yes. And that's what makes life happy. You know, you have to stay busy and enjoy everything that you do. It's just wonderful. I
It's-
never felt better.
you know, that is a blessing. I mean, the fact that you can wake up every day knowing there's something that you want to do.
Yes, exactly.
And you have a passion for.
Yes.
Again, that word passion comes about.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it's also evolving. People say you reinvented yourself. You evolved.
That's right.
To the next thing, the
That's
next
right.
stage. And I
That's
think
right.
that's so important.
Exactly.
There are people who, you know, they work at a job for 50 years, they get a gold watch to the end, and then they
Exactly.
retire and die.
Yeah. Yeah,
As
that's
opposed
so
to
true.
going on evolving into
That's
the next
right.
whatever they want to do,
That's
because that's
true.
so important.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
It really is. And so many people ask me, how do you get motivated? How, you know, when the modeling ended, you know, I did go into a little bit of a slump, but I wrote this song called The Native in Me is Getting Restless. And
Boom,
I
boom,
got to
boom, boom,
find
boom, boom,
somebody
boom, boom.
new to mess with. You know? And that's my mantra, you know, when things are slow and I get down, I just start, you know, put that music on and get that African beat going and get the blood running through your veins and just try to envision something new for yourself.
Absolutely.
And it really is important and it works. It
Yeah,
really
I think
works.
motivation is so important.
Totally.
And
Yeah,
anything
so-
that you're doing, you have to make sure that you have something to look forward to.
That's right.
You know, and you
That's
can
true.
plan from, I know one of the things I do is that in the beginning of the year, I say, these are the places I want to go during the year.
Oh, great.
And then if I don't get to all of them, I will come back to that list for the next year and start
Yes.
working on it. So
Oh,
the whole
that's
thing is to
great.
have something that motivates you.
Yes, and
putting things on paper so
Yes.
you can literally see them. Making them
Absolutely.
clear is important.
Very important, absolutely. And I've got to follow in your footsteps a little bit more because I'm such a workaholic. I love my work and I have so many things going on that I have to travel more. I have to start traveling again. I do miss seeing the world, you know, as much as I used to, and I got to get back out and travel. And I encourage everyone to do that as well. It's so important.
It's so incredible, the people that you meet around the world.
Oh, absolutely.
And sometimes you can't remember unless you have a picture in front of you. You
Oh,
know,
dear.
Because it's so
The
many
names.
and so
Oh.
many places
Oh,
that you've been.
absolutely. I don't know how you do it. I
Well,
tell
the
you.
difference is, and people for my show, what I do is I wear every day a different outfit, and I can, when we look at the
Oh,
video,
that's a good
we
idea.
figure out, you know,
Yes.
that was all that place,
Yes.
this was all the next destination, and
yes.
so forth. Because otherwise, there's no way of
Yes.
keeping track.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, it's
That's
my
really-
madness.
Yes.
If it's red pants, it's Paris. If
Absolutely.
it's yellow pants, it's somewhere
Absolutely,
else. You know,
absolutely.
so those are the kind of things that, you know, my own mental notes.
Yeah, that's good.
And I
That's
think
great.
that, you know, everybody has their own system.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I want to give my props to my co-writer. It was so incredible how this book came about. If you could show this again. Yes, and I had written the book and just written it for the last time that I thought it was all done. And I went to an Ashford and Simpson concert. And I went in and I was stood up by my date, so I went by myself. And the lady says, there's no more seats on the main floor, you have to sit upstairs. And I'm like, I don't sit in the balcony dressed like this. I was dressed to the nines. Are you kidding me? So she was taken aback. She was like, oh my God. She says, hold on just a second.
Sat you in the front row.
Yes. So she sat me just behind Spike Lee and Cicely Tyson, as a matter of fact, and with two wonderful young gentlemen. And one of them was just enamored over the beauty and says, oh my God, you look amazing. Who are you? What are you doing? And I told him my history, and he says, you need to write a book. And I'm like, it's written. He says, well, I'll help you write it. And he turned out to be my co-writer in this book.
Wow.
Just by accident. And the icing on the cake, the guy that was sitting with him at the table was an incredible graphic artist. And he did the cover of the book. He did the
Well, mention their names.
He did Chester Foltz. Chester Foltz is the co-writer of this book, or assistant editor, I should say. I would send him a page of text and he would turn it, he would just put this little splash of humor in where it needed, and it really makes it a fun read. And Scott Fowler is the graphic artist, and he did his
Just
own.
need to tilt it a little this way so that you don't get the glare.
He did his own fonts for the title. Beautiful, beautiful fonts for the book. And it's just a wonderful cover. Chester also chose the cover for the book. And
beautiful.
I just really thank him. He chose the back as well.
Ah,
So
how exciting is that?
It's really such a great, it's really,
You're in your
really great.
glory.
Yes, thank you so much. I really feel so thankful
Blessed.
and blessed to have this book. It's really just changed my life, and just it's a long time dream come true.
Well, you know, when you said you were writing a book, I'm thinking it's going to take a couple of years, and the
No.
next thing I know, bam,
It's out.
done.
Yes.
And I said, wow,
No.
that's progress.
It's just, yes, no,
You
it's
know.
it's been a long time coming. It's really been, and it's better to be that way, because it's better to take your time. I thought I was going to just get it out, and little did I know, after editing it a few times, I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. So I switched paragraphs and went back and did this and changed things around, and I mean, it's a process, but
Well, it's the rewrites. It's not
yes.
just writing, it's the rewrites
Absolutely.
and the edits and
yes.
the rewrites
and it's
and
got
so
to
forth.
flow. The story's got to flow. And I've gotten so many people call me and says, I can't put it down. I finished it in 2 days. The people were saying, I missed my stop on this train because I'm reading a book. You know, one was walking down the street. I'm bumping into people because I can't put the book down. It's just people are
That's what
enjoying
happened
it.
to me. I was on the bus and the guy said, "Your stop." I said, "Where am I?"
Oh my God.
I was so impressed,
I tell you.
with the book. So
Absolutely.
it's that kind of thing. It's a real page turner.
Yes, thank you so much. My one friend was on the train, and he kept with these outbursts of loud laughs every time he got to a certain point, and the lady behind him said, "Is it that funny?" And he said, "Yes." And he says, "Well, what are you reading? I want some of what you're reading." And she wrote down the book and ordered it.
Fabulous.
Yes, so it's a fun read, and it's those kind of compliments just let me know that I did the right thing.
Oh,
I'm bringing
absolutely.
joy to a lot of people, bringing knowledge to a lot of people, and just really and encouraging people to live their dreams.
Those wonderful photographs as well
Oh, thank
from
you.
the various experiences around the world.
Yes, yes. And Jon Haggins was a designer, and even one of his dresses I used to model for him is also pictured in the book as well.
You know, we've shared great times.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Over
yes.
many years.
Yes, I
and
tell you.
I think
yes.
it's wonderful. And also, you have a chance to get up to your cottage up in the country.
When I lived in Paris, my friend had a country house, and I always said, whenever I get some money, I'm going to have a place in the city and a place in the country. And I enjoyed that country house for many, many, many years. And I sold it because I wanted to travel and just do things.
Right.
You know, I did. You know, it's,
And you're not around.
Exactly. I'm not around that much. I wasn't enjoying it as much. I didn't have time to enjoy it as much as I thought I would.
There was a place where you could go, relax, and get away from everything.
Absolutely,
Which I think
absolutely.
is
yes,
perfect.
Yes, yes. And I suggest that everybody needs a place for some type of peace and quiet and meditation when you're doing 5 careers like I am.
5 careers.
Yes, I have
No
5.
lazy lima bean.
Exactly. Exactly.
You're a good West Indian.
That's right.
You lazy lima bean.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, Shailah, this has been so terrific.
Oh, thank you. And I want to just tell people where to my website and my
please do.
social media. My website is ShailahEdmonds.com. That's ShailahEdmonds.com. ShailahEdmonds.com. And my Instagram is Shailah Edmonds, and my Twitter is @ShailahE. So I hope to hear from you on one of those avenues. It's very easy to find me and find the book, or Amazon. But you'll get an autographed copy from me if you go to my website, ShailahEdmonds.com.
It's always wonderful to share a moment or two with Shailah because she has so much to tell. You know, so the book is just fabulous. You have to pick it up. I'm Jon Haggins. So long for now.